Landlords of the state of New York. As many of you are aware, the New York State budget must be passed constitutionally by April 1st of every year. That's a few weeks away. In that budget of 2022, there are a few line item appropriations set aside to help landlords and tenants. We're going to go over 3 of those appropriations and show you the snares and the traps and the pitfalls of these 3 appropriations. But before we do, we want to share some numbers with you. As of March 1st, 2022, there have been a total of 315,162 applications for ERAP. Out of that, 124,970 payments have been made to landlords for a total of $1.6 billion. Therefore, hence, there is no more money at all for ERAP. Now, there are a total of 35,125 ERAP applications that have been provisionally approved for tenants pending landlord approval. When you look at all of those numbers, it shows that there's over 155,000 applications that are sitting in some dark abyss filing cabinet somewhere, or some file in a computer that have not been looked over or approved. Now, let's look at these 3 appropriations, going from the lowest to the highest appropriation. In the budget, which we believe will be approved, is $400 million for LRAP, Landlord Rental Assistance Program. That program started in October of 2021 and closed about 45 days later for no funding, when there was a funding of $125 million. Now, we're sure to say that there are a number of applications that have remained unfunded that might be funded on this $400 million. Now, here's where the traps and the snares come in with this LRAP. Your tenant does not have to apply for ERAP. When they do not, the landlord applies for LRAP to get 12 months' worth of funding that the tenants have not paid any rent. Now, the issue that we have is the tenants will not apply for ERAP if they firmly believe that the examination of their application will prove that they were able to pay the rent this whole time through and just chose not to. And now they're going to be on the hook for whatever money that they owe. So they're not applying for ERAP. But yet, under LRAP, they still get all the protections of ERAP. We have previous videos on our channel that you will be able to see that will talk to you about those protections that tenants get under ERAP and under LRAP. So it disincentivizes the tenants to apply for ERAP, because then they're not on the hook for any money, even though they might be banking $50,000, $60,000, $75,000 a year. Now, the other traps that we have with the LRAP program that we see happening is that you have landlords who can apply for LRAP for those tenants that have left the property and did not pay the rent. The other group that can apply are landlords whose tenants are still in occupancy but refusing to ERAP. When you look at the money that they're trying to pay to us and give us $400 million, who do you think, fellow landlords, will get the money first? The landlords whose tenants have already waved bye-bye and left? Or the tenants who are still planting in the apartment not paying a dime for months and months and months? Yeah, you're right, you know the answer to that. The landlords who still have the tenants living in the property without paying a dime. So for those of us landlords who have had tenants who have left, the likelihood of us getting any of that money is practically nil to nothing at all. The other appropriation is $500 million for utility arrears. That means Con Edison, National Grid. It might mean fuel oil, wood pellet payments for those who may not use National Grid or Con Ed to heat their homes. That's $500 million set aside for that. What about the Home Energy Assistance Program? That if you meet certain criterion, you as a tenant can get up to $10,000 of your utility bill paid that you owe in the arrears. What about that? So you get heat, and then you get this utility payment arrears to the tune of $500 million. That doesn't even include what ERAP would pay for utilities. Now we have seen some of our social media friends mention how if a tenant owes rent, but you do not ask for it in court in a holdover eviction, that you will be able to get the eviction because ERAP and LRAP and none of them protect them. We on our team think that may not be so true, for lack of a better word. The reason why is that you may have a tenant that you take to court on a holdover that does owe you rent money, but you want to take them on a holdover because you want them to go. They can go to court and say to the judge, Your Honor, we owe back rent to this landlord, and we are concerned that they are evicting us on a holdover, and that later on they will sue us in small claims court or a higher court, county court or Supreme Court for the back rent that we owe, when about ERAP or LRAP would pay this amount to us, to the landlord. And therefore we're afraid that they're going to take us later on. Now, should the court entertain that? No. Because you take them on a holdover, money should not be an issue. But in many courts across New York State, the judges may very well entertain that with a happy smile. The other aspect that we have an issue with is that the tenant can tell the judge, Your Honor, it's obvious that no money is owed to the landlord, because he or she would take me here to court now on a non-payment eviction and not a holdover. So therefore, we're not here about rent, Your Honor. But the problem that I have as a tenant is that I want to move to apartment B, but I can't do so because I owe $13,000 to the utility company in back bills. I can't afford it, and I don't have the money for that. And ERAP and this $500 million will help pay that or pay the whole thing off. So I now then can move to apartment B and get the utilities turned on in my name. We see a lot of courts that are going to allow that argument to be made so the tenants cannot be evicted on a holdover. We hope that we are wrong, but landlords, as you well understand, we're in the state of New York. It is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a friendly state for landlords. Now the other appropriation is $1.25 billion for ERAP. You say, yes, we're going to get our money. This is so great. Finally, more money in ERAP. I'm going to get my money. We've already shown to you that there's over 155,000 pending applications as of March 1st. We know that that number is growing every day. It's growing right now as the clock ticks. The number is growing more and more and more because you know that when a tenant applies for ERAP, they can be evicted because they've applied. Now, here's the trappings that we have with this. And they only have 35,125 applications provisionally approved, and over 155 that are sitting in limbo. Once this goes through and the money is made available, how much longer is it going to take to get the tenants approved and the landlords paid? It can take months. Months more. We've already seen landlords who have applied, and the tenants as well, in June of 2021 that still haven't received no money whatsoever. You could also very well have tenants who will willfully not fill out the paperwork properly to continue on with this application. We had a case earlier this week in court when the landlord has been trying to get the tenant out for a couple of years. The case was adjourned out for 2 more months until May 9th, 2022, because the tenant is not submitting the proper financial documents to ERAP. So it's in the tenant's best interest not to fill out the application properly, because it will extend out their tenancy without having to pay rent, or the possibility of having their ERAP application denied, and in that case, the landlord can move forward with the eviction. So we believe that even though this money will be made available, it can take months to get your tenant out after that, because you don't know whether you're going to get approved. We don't know how many more months it's going to take to look over these applications and deny or approve. And the other thing that we're afraid of is, will the state of New York, seeing how many applications they have, and how much money they have to pay out. Will they give you a token amount of 1 or 2 months worth of rent that your tenant owes, so therefore you have to start the eviction process all over again? Will they do that? I wouldn't put it past the state of New York, and you know full well you would not do it either. I believe that they could very well do that to make them start the process over again. Or are they going to do the same thing that they've been doing for months and months and months since June of 2021, provisionally approve or pending review or awaiting more information, whatever it is to delay the fact that they know that this application will not be approved so you can move forward with the eviction. What is going to happen? These sound up good programs, and if they were administered the right way, with morals and ethics, then yes, they would be good for all of us. But with how things are run here in the state of New York, and then through the court system, how long that's going to take, you could very well see your tenants here. We are in upstate New York. Outside of New York City, you could very well have your tenants there until Christmas 2022. And for those of you in New York City who might get 1 or 2 months worth of payment and now you have to start the process all over again, you could very well see your tenants on those in that property till Christmas 2023 or even longer. So landlords, I know this sounds, all down and depressing, but we have to share the facts. We want to share with you what we believe could very well happen. Do we want it to happen? No, we don't. We want it to roll smooth sailing for all of us landlords so that we can get some, if not all, the money that the tenants owe us, and if need be, get the tenants out of the property who we want gone, who will destroy the property or not paying rent or moving in their families who are subletting the apartments and not giving us any money. It's time for this to come to an end. It has been time for months and months now to come to an end. We need to push for that. Landlords, as you know, we here at the Landlord Advocates are here with you. We're here for you. We're here to help you become a better landlord by educating you. We ask that you subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you will be made aware of future videos. Share this content with other landlords. Help educate them so that they can become a better landlord as you can become a better landlord watching our channel. Until then, take care.